I think I did first hammy in the under-16s. From then on I was pretty consistent with my injuries. To not be able to do what the other 40 guys on the list are doing, and you're sitting up there in the rehab room doing a bike or grinder for the 10th time in a row, back to back, you have some dark times, definitely. Being involved in the academy, or the AIS as it was back then, was, I think, a big thing for all the players, but being from a country town of 900 people, to be all of a sudden 16, 17 touring Ireland with the other 29 so-called best kids in the country was a pretty good experience. So I wasn't at the draft. I think I was invited, but I had my school formal the night before. So I was just sitting in a motel room with mum and dad and a couple of mates, and I was a Kangaroo supporter. Didn't think they were going to take me. Lucky enough that they called me out not long after.
David Trotter, well, he's a real talent, a 17-year-old that comes from Lockhart in the Riverina of New South Wales, can play at both ends of the ground. He reads it like a Brendan Goddard across half-back. He cuts the angles off and kicks well.
There wasn't too much pressure put on by anyone else when I got to North, probably more myself. And I think all the boys are the same, that most guys at the club are pretty understanding. They've all been through it themselves, walking into a club on the first day. I still remember I was pretty nervous because I knew everyone's name there because I was a North supporter.
We've talked about the change. Trotter is into their side. He's an Assumption College former captain there, and they do have a good record, Assumption College boys, of being good AFL players, so hopefully he can find it a few times this afternoon.
Probably kids dream about, you know, debuting the MCG in front of 80,000 people. For me, it was a great place to make my debut because it's only a couple of hours from Wagga, so I had a lot of mates that made the trip up and came and watched, and I think we were down by 40 points at one stage.
Slipping over the very slippery there. Picked up in the end by Trotter towards goal, and not in, it's there! Harry Trotter, it is there!
Yeah, I played, I think, 3 games in that first little stint, and then look, it was injuries a bit. I mean, I couldn't have a consistent run in it, but look, it was probably, you know, the impact I was having in those couple of games probably wasn't where I wanted to be either. I had a really good pre-season in my 4th year, which ended up being my last, and was as fit as I'd been, and the hammies felt really good. Played the first couple of games. I think we lost to Collingwood and Port Adelaide, and then went back to the reserves. The boys then won 7 or 8 in a row, which was hard to get your spot back when they're doing that. And then I think I missed 1 week through a small hammy in the VFL. Wellesley went down with his knee, and Lade said, I know you didn't play on the weekend, but I'm going to put you in. And then I did my hammy at training that week, and did another 5 for the year, I think. So I think my last game of footy when I was at North was playing North Ballarat Reserves out at Casey Fields at about 10:30 in the morning. I did hammy number 5, so I probably thought at that stage AFL career is not exactly where I want it to go, so that was it for me. So I got back involved in the industry through Alex, who was my manager back when I was playing. And look, Alex was great for me. I had a 4-year, 7-game career, so I know where I would have been on his list of clients, but it never felt like that. And obviously stayed in touch with, you know, Macca over the, I think it was 8 years between sort of leaving the AFL system and coming back to work with him now. It helps me so much in my job now because it is, I realised that when I got drafted at 17, I thought, okay, that's till my early 30s sorted, and then I'll sort my life out after that. And 4 years later, I'm 21 and I'm out of the system. I'm really big on boys actually having something outside of footy, whether in the system for 2 years or 15 years. It's really important.
Yeah, he has been strong on setting up things past football, because it's not just football. You're in the system for, you know, hopefully 10 years, maybe a bit more, but after that, so make sure there's always an option B if football doesn't work out, which has been good. And also before club interviews, give me lots of advice, what questions to ask, what the recruiters are like. Lots of insight. He's obviously been there before, so they can pass on that wisdom, which has been great.
No, I'm not bitter at all. I think, You know, going through what I went through, it was a great experience. I wanted to play 15 years and 300 games of AFL footy like everyone when they're drafted, but I loved my time at North. You know, to be able to play a few games at the club you went for as a young fella was a great experience, and now I learnt pretty quickly that if I was bitter about it, I'd lose all enjoyment of footy, but I've loved footy since I was little, so nothing changed through that.